TransCanada, which is behind the Keystone XL pipeline, is apparently training authorities and law enforcement officials in Nebraska to suppress nonviolent activists. And the way that they do that is by treating them and labeling them as terrorists, even if they are being completely nonviolent. I mean, this is amazing to me because it just shows you how that word has now been used to describe so many different types of people, even those who are exercising their constitutional right and protesting as they should in a democracy.
Well, it's a natural extension of what we've been telling you all along, which is, if I don't like you, I call you a terrorist, right? And so that's not going to bleed into other things? Of course it is. First of all, it bleeds into other countries in terms of, like, for example, Turkey. Now, when there are democratic protests, the prime minister comes out and says they're terrorists. How could hundreds of thousands of Turks in 78 different cities all be terrorists? Mm-hmm. That makes no sense, but it doesn't have to make sense. Enemies of the state now in all countries are terrorists. So in TransCanada thinks, well, I'm making a lot of money off this oil. It's not even about Canada. It's not even protecting the government. It's about protecting my profits. And if you're endangering my profits, well, then you're a terrorist.
It's unbelievable. And I mean, obviously, we talk a lot about how protesters are being intimidated, whether it's through information that's accessed by the government. You know, that information can be used to intimidate them if you're thinking about stirring the pot. But think about it now with this whole NSA situation. I mean, you know the government is working for corporations. They're not working for the American people. If you are part of this movement, if you're an environmentalist, if you're worried about fracking and you're taking to the streets and you're debating about that or arguing about that, protesting about that, the government can easily look through your information, find anything that's embarrassing, and use that to intimidate you. They're already thinking of you as a terrorist. The fact that, you know, this company, TransCanada, can go about their business and treat people like terrorists when they're exercising, again, their constitutional right is ridiculous.
So now think about all the different ways that business and state are intertwined. So in the NSA case, we have Booz Allen, where the heads of our intelligence under Bush and Obama worked at Booz Allen or are now working at Booz Allen, and they get $6 billion in contracts from the government, right? So they're intertwined. And then there's the story of the 3 private contractors who wanted to smear Glenn Greenwald and other opponents of the Chamber of Commerce. And they wanted to use tactics that they had learned from the Defense Department to smear those guys, to spy in on them and then to eliminate them. So again, the state and the government working together, right? And then in the Occupy protests, we had literally, and we still have, in downtown New York, spying headquarters basically, where it's not illegal spying, it's cameras in public areas, and it's manned by the police department, NYPD, along with the top banks. They're literally in the same area, and as Occupy was doing, JP Morgan's like, go get those guys, and Citibank is telling the cops what to do, the cops are telling them what to do. I mean, who's running who is unclear anymore, right? Because the state and business interests have merged so much. Now, again, of course, what you'll hear from everybody is, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, then you shouldn't worry about being called a terrorist. But what if you're not doing anything wrong? And okay, fine, you never want to do an environmental protest, you never want to do any kind of protest, you just want to sit on your couch and eat your Doritos, and you think, well, the government's never going to bother me. But there's 1.3 million private contractors that have access to the classified information.
Yep.
And enemies of the state and enemies of corporations are now all terrorists, right? So what if somebody gets access to that? They're not all angels, those 1.3 million people, right? A lot of bad actors there. What if you're sitting on your couch and one of those guys or women is your ex-wife or your ex-husband, right? And they think, you know what, in our divorce proceedings, there's a lot of information that I could use, there's a lot of money on the line, I'm just gonna get that secret information a little bit. And it doesn't matter. If you oppose the government, you oppose anyone, or you say, hey, wait a minute, don't get my private information. Terrorist. That's a terrorist right there. Go get him. Okay? This is what's wrong with corporations and the state merging. It's a terrible idea.